The farmer's luck. There was once an old farmer who had worked his crops for many years. One day his horse ran away. Upon hearing the news, his neighbors came to visit. "Such bad luck," they said sympathetically. "Maybe," the farmer replied. The next morning the horse returned, bringing with it 2 other wild horses. "Such good luck," the neighbors exclaimed. "Maybe," replied the old man. The following day his son tried to ride one of the untamed horses, was thrown and broke his leg. Again, the neighbors came to offer their sympathy on his misfortune. "Such bad luck," they said. "Maybe," answered the farmer. The day after, military officials came to the village to draft young men into the army. Seeing that the son's leg was broken, they passed him by. "Such good luck," cried the neighbors. "Maybe," said the farmer. This Taoist story has many interpretations, but the one most people agree on is that no event can be deemed good or bad in the present in which it unfolds. The consistent response, "maybe," speaks about the principle of acceptance in the face of adversity. The farmer challenges the binary perception of good and bad and invites us to consider a more nuanced understanding of fate. Each event in the story, whether deemed fortunate or unfortunate by the neighbors, contributes to a larger, interconnected sequence. In the farmer's story, just as it is so in life, the value of events may only be revealed when looking backwards. Origin and explanation. The burnt toast theory, a term coined by TikTok user Off the Grid, explains the idea that a seemingly minor inconvenience in our day-to-day might shield us from a potential tragedy.
Burnt toast theory is the idea that if you burn your toast, let's say before work, and it adds 5 to 10 minutes to your trip, it's actually saving you from something catastrophic. Maybe it's saving you from a car accident. Maybe it's saving you from running into someone who you don't want to run into. But this is the idea that inconveniences in our lives, or when something releases us in the universe, it's either saving us from something more detrimental or pushing us in the direction that we need to go in.
And this theory took the internet by storm. From articles to videos or forums, people all around the world embraced this concept. Some sharing how they would apply it going forwards, others coming up with new explanations or ideas about it, and some replying with personal examples of their own, like Reddit user, ZapWizard. They were all packed and ready to head out on a trip across the country while hauling a heavy trailer. At some point during the night, some cardboard boxes fell from the rafters in the garage and somehow wedged their freezer door open. The next day, while readying the car, they noticed the melted water in the garage. They then spent the day cleaning up the garage and disposing of all the food that thawed out. They left for their road trip the day after they had planned. While on the trip, they drove through a town that was ravaged by a tornado, one that occurred right around the same time they would have ended up on the previous day. On September 11, 2001, Seth MacFarlane, creator of Family Guy, was scheduled to return to Los Angeles on American Airlines Flight 11. A combination of a late-running alarm and a hangover caused him to arrive late at the airport, missing the flight, which was hijacked and crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. This delay, though minor and frustrating at the moment, effectively saved his life. A frighteningly similar example is the one of John Lydon, former lead singer of the Sex Pistols. As he and his wife were getting ready to leave for a flight, they had an argument about how long it was taking her to pack her luggage. The argument and time it took led them to miss their flight and book the next. That flight was Pan Am Flight 103, which blew up over Lockerbie in 1988. With all 270 people on board killed. So what exactly makes this theory so popular, so resonant with us? If it stuck so fast and so hard to so many of us, then it must have struck a nerve, a pulse in our zeitgeist. Well, this theory isn't truly new. It takes on a new form and different implications, but its philosophical bases have been entertained in the past, most notably in the form of discussions about good and evil. Leibniz and Hegel on evil. Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, a prominent philosopher and mathematician of the 17th century, developed a concept known as the best of all possible worlds as part of his philosophical theodicy, the attempt to justify the goodness of God in a world where evil exists. Leibniz posits that God is omniscient and omnipotent, that he can see and create any future, and chooses to create the one with the best balance of good and evil. If the world we live in has evil, any other world we could have been in is worse. He attributes this evil not to God, but to humans, and specifically to our free will. Leibniz argues that the moral evil in the world is due to our misuse of the free will given to us by God, And since a world without free will would be worse than one with free will, we are in the best of all possible worlds. It's important to note that there is in this theory a clear demarcation between these moral evils and what he refers to as physical/metaphysical evils, imperfection, pain, suffering, which are all the price to pay for the good we have. Keeping in line with this justification of evils, we can look at Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, which he instead names passion. In his philosophy, Hegel takes the concept of Geist, absolute spirit, a kind of ultimate, all-encompassing reality, and proposes it is driven by what he calls the ruse of reason. For him, history unfolds in a rational process. Events occur for a reason unbeknownst to its actors. This part is the reason. The ruse refers to the idea that the seemingly chaotic, self-interested actions of individuals or collectives contribute to the unfolding of history. This ruse is how reason maneuvers through the selfish motives of individuals, using their actions to bring about a higher, more rational order. He uses the example of Napoleon and his conquest to drive this point across. The French leader, driven by the lust for power, expansion, as well as personal ambition, inadvertently spread the ideas of the French Revolution to neighboring countries, in turn promoting the development of the modern state and individual rights, amongst other things. These two examples aim to explain why evil happens, but the burnt toast theory isn't about explaining why bad things happen. It's about accepting that they do. Our human instinct is to seek meaning by crafting chaos into cohesion. Cameron Williams, a psychologist, says about the appeal of the burnt toast theory. Our own resilience and strengths as humans allow us to take our unique circumstances and make them work for our benefit, he says. The burnt toast theory is a coping concept, helping us deal with challenging times and events, both individually and collectively. And to this day, the best teachers of this particular philosophy remain the Stoics. Stoicism and Nietzsche's Amor, Fati. Stoicism, as taught by Marcus Aurelius, offers another philosophical system that fits well with the burnt toast theory. In Meditations, Aurelius repeatedly emphasizes the importance of accepting what life brings, focusing on how we can use everything we encounter as opportunities for personal virtue and growth. He also writes about the importance of adaptation and reflects on the idea of recognizing the potential good in every situation, no matter how counterintuitive. Stoicism, in parts, seeks to control reactions to external events rather than the events themselves. Our perception of events is often the cause of their adversity. This concept is central to Stoic philosophy, particularly emphasized by Epictetus in the Enchiridion, in which he coined the term dichotomy of control. This term emphasizes the distinction between what we can and can't control. For Stoics, the latter should not be cultivated, and our energy should only be spent on things we can directly impact. Nietzsche takes this a step further, encouraging us not only to endure what has happened, but to love it. The philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche offers a deeper lens through which the burnt toast theory can be viewed, especially through its concept of Amor, Fati, or love of fate. Nietzsche proned a radical, complete acceptance of life. He urges us to invite in all aspects of it, the good, the bad, the annoyances, as insignificant as burnt toast. He believed that everything in life, including pain and setbacks, are necessary and valuable, contributing to who we are and to our personal growth. Burnt toast, or cognitive adaptation theory. Cognitive adaptation theory offers a compelling understanding of the psychological processes that allow people to survive and even prosper in the wake of adversity. The essence of cognitive adaptation theory is reflected in the cognitive shift in how people interpret life's minor inconveniences. Developed in the late 1980s by psychologists Lawrence Calhoun and Richard Tedeschi, the theory provides a framework for understanding how people psychologically adapt to significant life changes, particularly traumatic events or serious challenges. According to this hypothesis, individuals instinctively want to preserve a good view of themselves, a feeling of meaning in life, and the appearance that they have control over their surroundings. In order to accomplish these objectives in the face of hardship, people go through a process that involves trying to understand the significance of what happened, trying to take control of the circumstances, and raising their sense of self-worth by comparing themselves to others or by thinking of themselves as survivors. The first formulation of the thesis was grounded in studies of individuals' reactions to a range of personal tragedies such as serious diseases and loss. According to research findings that corroborate this idea, people who adopt a positive perspective on their circumstances frequently undergo more psychological adjustment. For instance, cancer patients exhibited improved emotional well-being when they discovered a personal advantage or purpose in their sickness. This shift in perspective on life's inconveniences captures the spirit of cognitive adaptation theory, which maintains that people adjust not only by overcoming significant challenges, but also by perceiving small setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning. Toxic positivity. There is nuance to this idea, however. Whilst perceiving negative experiences in a good light can be a step in the direction of well-being, that shouldn't become the answer to all inconveniences. Viewing the world through the idea that everything happens for a reason, that reason being a greater good, could propel burnt toast theory into becoming the latest accidental toxic positivity trend. Psychotherapist Agnieszka Jacewicz explains, "Toxic positivity is the idea that we should always be positive, happy, and optimistic, even in difficult or traumatic situations. It suggests that negative emotions such as sadness, anger, or frustration are unhealthy and should be avoided at all costs. The problem with toxic positivity is that it invalidates our genuine emotions and experiences. It can make us feel guilty for feeling anything other than positivity. This can lead to a cycle of shame and self-blame. This spiral of shame and blame often ends up making us feel worse than the very emotions we tried to repress. The key to avoiding this pitfall is to always keep in mind that when we feel emotions, positive or negative, there is a reason. Emotion is the language that our inner self speaks to tell us something about our situation. Our goal shouldn't be to dismiss negative thoughts or emotions altogether, but to identify and deal with them accordingly. Feeling sadness, fear, or loss is as crucial to us as feeling happy or excited, and therefore should never be sidelined, for emotions we feel are positive. Embracing uncertainty. Despite this potential downside, burnt toast theory remains a poignant concept, one that can help us make sense of our problems, of our path in life, and offer guidance in chaotic times. This concept, like its philosophical predecessors, is in tune with our natural desire to find meaning and order in the chaos of life. Whether an unexpected lingering setback in our morning routine, or a crucial missed exit on our commute to work, it encourages us to view the process not as a setback, but as a potentially transformative, sometimes life-saving experience. Influenced by deep-rooted philosophical theories, from Stoicism's emphasis on inner control to Nietzsche's Amor, Fati, the burnt toast theory is a mental exercise, a mindset through which challenges can be identified and accepted, that can embrace and confront the unpredictability of life and turn potential adversity into a catalyst for personal growth, so long as it doesn't fall into the adverse effect of toxic positivity. The burnt toast theory is more than a viral buzzword from an internet video. It is an ancient wisdom, repackaged and relabeled for our time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to Memopoli. And most importantly, share your anecdotes, examples, and thoughts about the burnt toast theory in the comments. See you next week.